Good morning and welcome to Worthwhile. I'm Angela, wife and mom to 4 kids, and I'm here to encourage you to work hard, live your life as worship, and offer it all in faith with open hands to the Lord. I am so glad you're here. Thank you for taking time in your day to listen. His mercies are new every morning. What a comfort this verse brings to us. No matter what, each new day is a new opportunity to turn to the Lord and receive His good blessings. One of my children came and gave me a huge hug the other morning, and the words just came right out of my mouth. His mercies are new every morning, this morning. And my little guy asked me what I meant, and we talked about how kind God is to welcome us each day, to give us a fresh light each morning and the opportunity to walk with Him in all that He's prepared for us that day. What happened yesterday is in a very real sense behind us. Now, as we go along, we start where we are. But what great peace and comfort we can find that no matter where our right here is, God is here and He has blessings abounding for us if we will turn to Him in faith and obedience. How often do we find that we've let a day go by without even considering all of the mercies that God has put into our life and the direction that He is wanting us to walk? It's so easy to forget. Those mercies might be a quiet house with a cup of coffee and your Bible by the fireplace first thing in the morning. Those mercies might be the little voice that would like breakfast before the sun comes up. Those mercies might be found in the baby in your arms up for the day after a long night. Those mercies might be the comfort of God's words as you face a difficult time or a season of unknowns. But they are always mercy and always directly from the hand of our Father to us, prepared carefully and intentionally for each of us. When I think on this verse, I think of the weather. I know I talked about it last week, but it's February, so it's on my mind to be giving thanks for weather that is just so gray. But thank you, Lord, for it. Every day we're given a sunrise, every night a sunset. Seasons and warmth, cold and snow, beautiful snow. All of this given to us every day without asking. And what do most people do? Complain about it. Rather, we ought to see the grace in something so ordinary to us as the weather. Right there, give thanks for this day and this particular moment you're in. Look with new eyes at the people God has for you to serve and learn who they are and help shape them as they grow. Who is this one that God has called me to love, and how can I do that better every day? How can I serve this person in all the ways God has called me to? That is what it means to love, after all, is to serve as God has commanded. Your particular husband, what blesses him? What can you do today to respect him and grow as his wife? We can pray and ask the Lord to open our eyes and to see those opportunities. Same with our children. What do they need today? And likely what they need is slightly new and different and will take intentional thought and prayer and discernment. What they definitely need from their mother is comfort and peace and joy and those things that come directly from the Lord through us to our children. And these are all really beautiful things. When we're walking in the Lord's mercies every day, He's bringing together grace and blessing. It fills us up so that we're able to pour out on the people around us. When we're walking in our own ways, we will quickly find that we do not have the peace and grace and blessing of the Lord to pour out on others. Over the years, there have been many difficult or trying days, and I have found that never does the Lord leave me without grace and His mercy when I am content and joyful and ready to receive whatever He has and trusting in Him. He never lets that go empty. For years, I would try to wake up and start my day with a single verse, trying often for it to be the first thing I do before I even open my eyes, to pray, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it," and to mean with my whole heart that, please, Lord, align me to that. Help me to know that You have given me breath this morning and strength to work and children to serve and a husband to love. Let us rejoice in all of that and be glad in it, whatever the day holds. So no matter what yesterday brought, no matter what today holds, it is the day made handcrafted by God to shape me, grow me, challenge me, and all of us, each one of us, with our own growing and shaping and sanctification to be done. He tells us to rejoice in it, in all things. to face all the little trying things with a heart of gratitude and rejoicing. Some days we can find that we are being a total stinker. It can be at the start, or sometimes it's halfway through the day before we realize that our own sour attitude is not building a home of peace and comfort. Or it might be on behalf of one of our children. They may be really struggling to overcome something. Or maybe we find that they've had a day that was full of real difficulties at school or some personal struggle that comes to our attention. Other times it's real weight of our own, deep sadness or heartbreak, or an overwhelming challenge of something new, or sometimes it's the weight of unconfessed sin. In those moments, we can find solace knowing that each new day, the Lord has mercy prepared for us, and He knows all of the things we're facing. If it is sin, confess it and receive the forgiveness of the Lord. If it is anything else, any other uncomfortable challenge that we are being grown and shaped through, then lean into the Lord and into His strength, and we will receive His blessing. We will receive His mercy, His grace, and His comfort. So let's think of like a small sin that we can get ourselves into. So say it's our own bad attitude or something minor. We're emotional and not handling it super great. It's not complicated. By God's grace, we can simply get right back on track. We can turn around and begin to obey and rejoice, for we know we belong to the Lord, and He's given us much good work to do, and we are to do it cheerfully. So as quick as the bad attitude, or batitude, as we sometimes call it around here, arrives, it can be kicked out. We can confess our little sinful attitude and turn it around as quickly as it began to sour. And as we obey cheerfully, we'll find that He will delight us with blessings and joy if we will open our eyes to see it and our hands to receive it. His blessing and joy is just on the other side of humbly submitting to the day and work God has for us. If your day is going not at all according to the plan you had of how it should be going, have you considered that maybe your plan was not the will of God for that day? He's called us right here today to serve these particular people in particular ways, and through our cheerful work in that, He will overwhelm us with blessings. We can be assured that our effort, offered to Him with a humble, grateful, servant heart, will not return void. Set the tone for your kids so that when they too have a struggle of a week or a really tough day, you can honestly and with witness to your own life remind them that the Lord has mercy new every single day. We can rejoice. He gives unproportionate blessings to our obedience. Now, it's simple, but it's not always easy. We need to fight the good fight and choose to turn our heart to cheerfulness and gratitude. And that requires effort. Our heart does not always want to go in the direction of cheerfulness and gratitude, and it takes some strength to say we're not going to dwell in that mud puddle. We're going to take a step in the right direction. Look around for and find things to give thanks for. Better yet, whatever is making you struggle, whatever that particular difficulty or thing is, look at it as the blessing it is. Obviously, not if the struggle is because you are in sin. In that case, confess it and be rid of it. Then give thanks. But a sink full of dishes? Thank the Lord for food and people to feed. Toys everywhere? Give thanks for children who get to play. Or in my case today, floors covered in mud from children running around and playing in the snow. Give thanks that it is a beautiful day and that they are getting to enjoy time outside. There is a way to be thankful in everything. We know that this is true because God commands us to do it, and that doesn't always mean that it's easy, but it does mean that we can be obedient in our gratitude. It can also be a season. Postpartum or early pregnancy can be very trying times. Maybe it's something you know is good, but it does level you up, and it can be a challenge, like a new job for your husband or a new home and a move. Those disruptions can throw off what feels like us having things under control. It can be times that are new, like early in your married years while you figure out not just how to live with someone side by side, but how to become their other half, intertwined and shaped to be precisely the wife you're being called to be. These are times that don't always feel like smooth sailing. And today I want to remind you, and always myself, that we can cling to God's promise when he says his mercy is new every morning. And he doesn't leave us to wonder, is his mercy new every week? Is it new every 10 years? Is it new when I recommit to some effort? It is new every morning. Before we go, what about sin? What about more than a bad attitude? Yesterday does impact today to some extent. If you've been in sin or nursing some sort of bad attitude, there are very likely real implications from those previous choices. We are where we are by the choices we made up to this point. So are you out of fellowship with your children and they're waking up feeling disgruntled? Do you have strife between you and your husband? These are real difficulties, and in all likelihood, we probably contributed to getting here to some degree or another when sin is involved. In that case, confess the sin the moment God brings it to your mind. Don't justify it. Don't argue with it. If you can claim and confess a sin and be rid of it, do it. It is well worth it. Confess the bitterness or resentment or discontent attitude, whatever it is, and turn to the one who gives us a soft heart. Ask him to help you to be content or patient with the kids. Begin right now doing the right thing. We start right exactly where we are with aligning ourselves with Christ and letting that obedience be blessed. That doesn't mean the difficulty necessarily goes away, but it means that we are walking through it with the Lord and not by our own meager strength and will, which really never produces great fruit. And be reminded that God blesses our obedience far beyond the scale of our obedience. I can't even remember all the times that some small act of obedience done in faith with open hands has returned blessing beyond what I could have expected. So let's think through some examples so you can picture this. If you have naughty children, like truly naughty children, and it feels like you've had it and it's still early in the morning, confess, thank the Lord for these children who he's asked you to care for, and get after it. Make sure that your heart is right, and then care for the children in all of the ways we need to, in teaching and training and disciplining and caring for them. Look for how God is shaping you through this and lean into that. Is it impatience? See it as a time to slow down and take your time with this child. Maybe one child popped up with a new little behavior that is not at all one that you want to keep around. And I sometimes find myself questioning, has this been growing and I missed it, or did this literally just pop up overnight? For example, baby talk in older kids. I think most of my children at some little age, but far after they have the ability to speak well, will one day wake up and start using a whiny baby voice. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, there we are. That's my training ground. That's what we're working on today, is self-control and strengthen our voice. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you just wake up not feeling up for the day ahead. The house is not in great shape. Maybe that's due to neglect and time wasting on our end. Again, same thing. Confess the wasted time and then start there with joy and gratitude, and roll up your sleeves and smile that you have a clear direction of what to do today. Remember, God made this day for you, and walking in his mercy and grace with thanksgiving will produce fruit out of what feels like dry ground. I pray often that this podcast will serve the Lord and his kingdom and be a blessing to the women who listen, and by extension to their families. May we be like lights in a dark world. When the world sees us, may God's good mercy, grace, and joy fill our hearts and our faces and our words, our marriages and our families. I hope you have a wonderful week, and may the Lord richly bless you. And remember that every day the Lord's mercies are new every morning. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.